Welcome back everyone, Questini here with more of the Matthias Chronicles on hard difficulty. So supposedly I unlocked a secret mission, but I'm not quite sure if it is going to be available, but let's see. With a whiff of sulfur of fury, the Burning Legion launched its assault on Kalimdor. As the victories began to mount, more and more of the greater demons were attracted to the fray, seeing carnage and glory. Back in Lordaeron, the Scourge was feeling the impact of these departures. Carrion was at a premium, with both frontline and garrison commanders clamoring for reinforcements. Most often, the garrisons went without, leaving their commanders seriously scanning the sky for the dark shapes of approaching orcish zeppelins. War Chief, grave news that our scouts have spotted a column of ghouls heading this way. So the undead commander has tired of cowering in his earthy tomb and seeks a more final rest. How many enemies do we face? Over 2 scores of ghouls, War Chief, a couple of necromancers, and a dozen or so gargoyles. We cannot linger here. I have a little fear of their ghouls, but if their gargoyles caught us in our zeppelins, we would have no way of defending ourselves. I must remember to thank the undead for leaving us unmolested for nearly 4 hours. The response times are getting worse. We have searched the castle from top to bottom and found nothing but debris. It makes no sense, Ushkar, old friend. I need your perspective on this. You are the undead commander of the region. Why would you leave such an obvious strong point as this fortress ungarrisoned? Perhaps I think that the castle is too deep in our territory to be threatened. Maybe I know it contains nothing. Maybe I know that its true potential lies in its symbolic value to the humans. It would be a magnet to them. In the meantime, I will leave it empty and conserve my strength for use elsewhere. I'm impressed. Half the battle is won simply by getting into the mind of your opponent. Thank you, War Chief. Now I really must insist that we leave before the undead discover us. Are you sure we are out of earshot here? As sure as I am of anywhere. You never can tell where a shade may be lurking. Perhaps that's why the Lich King is credited with being all-knowing. You shouldn't say such a thing. He might hear. I'm sure that the Lich King has better things to do than to wait to hear the deathless prose from yet another of his faceless acolytes, Miles. You said that you had something important to tell me. I was in the Citadel this morning while I was tidying some documents when I came across the rosters for our mining operations. Can you believe that they expect us to double our shifts? I don't know what to do. I spoke to the foreman about whether the shifts were changing and told me not to ask about it, and muttered darkly about shipping me off to Kalimdor. So the prospect of eternal life is losing its hold on you, is it? Does it seem quite so likely that they'll station you to the earthly paradise you are promised? This isn't a laughing matter, Kel'Zarach. They want to wear us down until we're walking skeletons like them. Quite true, it seems that our ranks are thinning rapidly due to the twin ravages of attrition and desertion. The mortal component of the Scourge is in bad shape. It's beginning to feel like this whole offensive is going to grind to a halt. I hear that the assault on Dunedin has been postponed yet again, with the reserves being transferred to Kalimdor. Why do they need so many troops in Kalimdor anyway? I hear that the demons themselves won't lift a finger unless they attack in overwhelming strength. Meanwhile, it's the poor mugs like us who have to worry each night about waking up with our throats slit. They say they can spare enough guards. What rot. I agree, the Scourge place little value on our lives. If what I'm thinking is correct, things are going to get a whole lot worse for us mortals. I've made some contingency plans. If they work, I may be able to pull most of the acolytes and necromancers out of the ashes of the Legion's defeat. Complaining about your lot is one thing, but that sort of talk is treasonous. If the Lich King found out about this, we will all go down. I thought about of that too. There's no way I could hide such a plan for so long, unless in some way the Lich King wanted me to succeed. Good morrow, Garth. How's our little prince? As ornery as ever. Matthias, I've asked the war chief once again to let you free, but he tells me that you refuse to leave peacefully. No one gets to cage me and brag about Duncan. I swear to you that once I'm free, I will set this camp aflame. Why must you carry the burden of such hatred? You turned on your own people at Renwick. For what? For the orcs? Renwick was never about the orcs, Duncan. Did you think that all this came about because of some tantrum? Do you think that little of me? If I'm to be king, I will require the respect of my people. One cannot sustain a kingdom on fear and title alone. You must be seen to be worthy. My father did not trust me to go to Northrend with Arthas. Instead, I was given the task of rounding up refugees. Refugees! That's not a command, that's a slap in the face. But you could not have known that you're facing a leader like Malachi. There is no shame in being defeated by a worthy opponent. Must you constantly worship that orc, Duncan? It would not matter to my people if I was beaten by Doomhammer himself. They still view it as a failure. Is that not so, Duncan? That is why when I arrived at Renwick I found an armed host. That was why the mage said to my face that I was no more than a thug with an army. That battle was not about the orcs, it was about my right to wear the crown. My own people did not think me worthy. My own people took up arms against me. You misinterpret their motives, Matthias. These were good people. They saw the undead poisoning. Betrayed them. The betrayal took place when you crossed the bridge, Duncan. The betrayal is taking place now as you side with the very orcs that humiliated me. I trusted you, Duncan. I thought you were my friend. I'm still your friend, Matthias, but the world has changed. We must all stand against the Legion, orc and human alike. Can't you see this is the only way to save our people? I cannot stand with Malachi and still be king. He may be as noble as you say, Duncan, but unless I defeat him, I will never wash away the taint of common blood. My father may be dead, but the task he set me is still incomplete. I pity you, Matthias. To thirst for a crown so much, and yet you understand so little about what it means. Perhaps your cage is the best place for you. So that is where you rest, little prince. The master must be told this. The situation in Khaz-Modan was deteriorating rapidly. The border paths south to Azeroth were now closed to all incoming travelers. New refugees from Lordaeron now had the choice between shivering in the windswept camps of the mountain passes or taking their chances in the lowlands. The army that protected them was demoralized and deeply divided. Lacking a leader who could unite them, the commanders fought constantly among themselves. They knew that their doom was waiting for them, patient, remorseless, and unsleeping. Greetings, dwarf. You, I not tarry long here, necromancer. There's a good many folks here who'd prefer to see the back of you. To stick a dagger in, no doubt. You need not worry, dwarf. I'm merely passing through on my way to more pressing business. If I were you, I'd order your paladin friend Larissa to empty the refugee camps as quickly as possible. Their position in the lowlands is dangerously exposed. You didn't hear from me, but the Scourge march towards this land as we speak. Believe me, the last thing you want to give an army of undead is a ready supply of fresh corpses. Do you think this is news to me? I've been trying to tell those damn stupid humans that for weeks, but they refuse to listen to me. Do they? And I bet that they'll point the finger at you when it goes wrong. I wish you luck, dwarf. You've a thankless task ahead of you. Alright, let's get Larissa out of here.
What? Yes, me lord.
Welcome to our village.
What is it?
This is our opportunity.
Welcome to our village.
Welcome to our village.
Oh, word. Righto.
Our town is under siege. What do you need?
Hello.
Yes, me lord.
Hello.
Our forces are under attack.
Alright, so I'm going to get all these refugees out of here.
I can help. We are of the same mind.
And also deal with these undead.
Our forces are under attack. Our town is under siege.
Only lost 2 refugees so far.
Our town is under siege.
This is our opportunity. We are of the same mind.
What?
Say the word.
Oh, word.
Yes, my liege. Our town is under siege. Of course.
What is it?
Orders. Say the word.
What is
Yes,
it?
my liege.
Hello. What do we have here?
Alright, let's
Our
keep
town
pulling
is
back.
Under siege.
Greetings, my lord. This is our opportunity.
What? Off I go then.
Our forces
Yes,
are
my
under
lord.
attack.
All right.
I'm ready.
Keep pulling them back.
We are of the same mind.
What do you need?
More word.
Our town is under siege.
What?
Hello there.
This is our opportunity.
Yes, me lord. Yes,
Let's go,
me
go,
lord.
go.
Yes, me lord.
Our town is under siege.
So there's another hero over
Orders?
here.
What do you need?
More work. All right.
Yes,
Alright,
my liege.
get the militia.
Right.
What is it?
Okay.
What? Off I go then.
Say the word.
Greetings, friend.
More work.
What do we
Righto.
have here?
Yes, me lord.
Alright, there's a lumber mill.
I concur. I concur.
Get the refugees out, because we'll get some gold for it. For each refugee, it seems like it's 50 per
Greetings,
refugee.
my lord. What do we have here? This is our opportunity.
What is it?
Alright, I'm guessing I'm going to get this particular base.
I'm ready. We are of the same mind. Go, go.
Say the word.
Stay alert. Go. Good enough.
Yes, my liege.
What do you say?
I'm ready. I concur.
What do you say?
Alright, 2 more refugees.
What do you need?
Now, where are they?
Greetings, Your Highness.
There we go.
This is our opportunity.
Orders.
What do we have
Say
here?
the word.
I'm ready. We are of the
Okay,
same
so we
mind.
got mass teleport on her. I imagine it's going to be useful. There's some towers controlled by the stone grinders. And we do also have a dwarven army of barbarian dwarven footmen.
Have you met my daughter?
So only 3 were lost
Orders.
in that entire
How
affair.
are you doing?
I'd argue that's a pretty
It's an
significant
honor
victory
to
to get
meet
all
you.
of those alive.
Work. Righto.
Now, if
Yes,
push
my
comes to
lord.
shove, you know, I could just use this particular peasant right here. Okay, so that's the first quest. I'm impressed, Larissa. That was a near impossible task delivering all these refugees to safety. No thanks to my so-called friends. You left me and my forces to twist in the wind while you hid behind your fortifications. Huh. It was not your was it not your decision to leave the refugees down there? Did I not see your men turn tail the moment that they began attacking? Tell me, is it your nature to leave the people that need you most? I've not forgotten how you turned your back on Prince Matthias back in Renwick. You pointy-eared bit. Quiet. It's your own damn fault. I told you time and again that you should move the refugees from their camp. You put them in harm's way. Oh, Larissa's. Only because you dwarves refused to shelter the refugees inside your fortress. You forced them to stay out there. So you prefer that they die like kings on the provisions stored for my garrison. Don't you dare pin this on me. Your troops seem to have forgotten that we're here for fighting rather than hiding. Are you calling me a coward? You take that back or I'll smash your pretty little skull in with my hammer. A zeppelin. Duncan, is that really you? I thought that you were slain in the fighting on Renwick. My wounds were grievous, but I'm back. Now listen carefully, for I cannot stay long. There's alliance forming among the inhabitants of these lands against those who threaten our very existence. All rivalries mean nothing now that we are facing annihilation. I lead a growing number of knights and men-at-arms. We have sought help where we could find it, from mercenaries, peasants, militia, trolls, ogres, even from our old enemies, the orcs. What, if you think Matthias would never... We face an ancient and evil enemy, a foe who delights only in destruction, a foe who seeks to destroy our very world. Our greatest hope lies in our enemies' overconfidence and arrogance. Their reputation in battle is fearsome, but the reality is quite different. At the port village of Dinsa Sandal in northern Lordaeron, a combined force of humans and orcs fought the enemy to a standstill, slaying many of their finest troops. I know, for I was one of the number. The demons' weakness lies in the fact that they have few capable leaders. Eliminate them, and their attacks will become chaotic and undisciplined. And how betrayal are we supposed to do this? We're in no position to launch an assault. We have barely enough strength to hold the mountain. We must find a way to both hold your strongholds and destroy the demons. My forces will come to your aid, but it will take some time. Until then, you are on your own. You must hold this pass no matter what the cost. Good luck, my friends. Well, we're on our own.
Build more farms.
Okay, so we are given a vast army. Wait, what about the gold?
What? Aye, sir.
What do we have here?
Okay.
This is our opportunity.
I have a
I'll
land
do
to
what I
defend.
can.
Waiting.
I'm ready. I concur.
Let's get moving.
So we got 2 castles.
What's happening?
Okay,
Let's
those
get
are
moving.
cannon towers.
Let's do this. What's
And I
happening?
am way over pop cap. We can't train knights, but we can get upgrades. I need more blacksmiths.
What? Yes, me lord. All right.
I'm ready and waiting.
Our town
It's
is under
hammer
siege.
time.
Yes, my friend.
Okay.
Of course.
You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
Is someone...
We got 20 minutes until the the cavalry arrives.
Let's get to fighting. Research complete.
Okay.
I'm your dwarf. Our forces are under attack. You're the boss. Our town is under siege. Research complete. Aye, sir. Our town is under siege. Research complete. More lumber is required. Our forces are under attack.
Let's get moving.
What ails you?
Yes, me lord.
Research
What
complete.
is it?
All right, the
Is my aid required?
We elves are not easy prey.
You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
I have a land
What's
to
happening?
defend.
let's keep moving.
Orders? Aye, my lord. You can count on me.
More work?
Ah, we
What
can
is it?
train knights just from.
More lumber is
Let's get
required.
moving.
Yes, my liege.
Okay.
You're kind of slow for a human,
Say
aren't
the
you?
word.
Is someone injured? As you
I'm
wish.
ready and waiting.
Now I'm
need?
going to explore
On
this
my
area and
way.
see what I got.
Research
Let's get
complete.
moving.
What do you need?
What's happening?
Command me.
I'm ready and waiting.
Our opportunity. We are of
Job's
the same
done.
mind. I concur. Go.
You're kind of
Job's
slow for a
done.
human, aren't you?
What do we have here? We are of the
Research
same
work.
mind.
complete.
What? Righto.
More lumber is
I'm
required.
ready and waiting.
There we go.
Our
That's an
forces are
attack wave.
under attack. Research complete. Yes, my liege.
You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
I'll do what it takes.
We elves are not easy prey.
What's happening?
I'm your dwarf. Our forces are under attack. Orders. Our town is under siege.
I'm ready and waiting.
That's more like it.
You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
I'll do what it takes.
Let's get moving.
I know
Our
how to
town
do
is
this.
under siege.
Is my aid required?
Our forces are under attack.
Okay, I'm going to need to get more workers,
Me lord.
specifically,
Yes, me lord. Righto.
and maybe
What is
some
it?
more farms. I'm not sure exactly what the population cap actually is.
I'm ready and waiting.
Say the word.
Work.
I do have
What? More work?
Our forces are under attack.
You're kind of slow for a
we go.
human, aren't you?
You dare
Ready to
threaten
work.
me?
Say the word.
Let's get moving. Let's get it on.
Yes, my friend.
Wait till you see me in action. Yes, my liege. Our forces are under attack. Is
Ready to
required.
work.
I'm
Job
ready and
done.
waiting.
Yes, my lord.
What do we have here? I concur.
Yes, my
What's
lord.
happening?
I've no time for games.
What do you need?
What ails you?
Our forces are
work.
under
Let's get
attack.
moving.
so I can support a even higher population.
You're kind of
Our
slow for a
town
human,
is
aren't
under
you?
siege.
Let's get moving.
We are of the same mind.
Forces are under attack. Me.
I'm ready and waiting.
We elves are not easy prey.
Slow for a human, aren't you?
Our town is under siege.
What is it? Ready to Yes, me work. lord. Yes, me lord.
What's happening? I'm ready and waiting.
Ready to work.
That's more like it. Our forces are under attack.
Let's get moving.
Is someone injured?
Gonna go deal with that gargoyle
You're kind of slow for a human,
Our
aren't you?
forces are under attack.
and then fall back.
Our town is under siege. More lumber
Ready for
is
action. I'm
required.
ready and waiting. Let's do this. What's happening?
What ails you? I am
You're
your
kind
servant.
of slow for a human, aren't you?
Curious that I'm consuming so much.
Our
I
forces
supply.
are under
cleanse
attack.
this land.
Orders. Ready for
Let's
action.
get moving.
Yes, my friend.
Let's get moving. You're kind
Our
of slow
town
for a
is
human,
under
aren't you?
siege.
I have a land to defend.
What's happening? It's hammer time.
Alright, I need to hold both gold mines.
Let's get it on.
The actual structures themselves are not really the important bit here.
forces are under attack. Is under siege.
Forward. Off I go
I'm
then.
ready and waiting. That's more like it. Let's get moving. It's hammer time.
Is my aid required?
Our forces are under attack. Is under siege.
You're kind of slow for a human.
I'll do it.
What's happening?
Research forces are under attack. Is under siege. Research complete.
I'm ready and waiting.
Yes, my friend.
Aye, sir.
You're kind of slow for a human.
Our town is under
Let's
siege.
get it on.
Our forces are under attack. All numbers is
Let's get moving. Let's get moving.
Is someone injured?
What's happening? Here's my lead. You're kind of slow for a human.
Wheels are not prepared.
Ready and waiting.
What? All right.
research complete.
I've no time for games.
Research
I leveled her up.
Slow for a human. What's happening?
Ready to work.
I'm ready.
Let's get moving.
What is it?
Let's get moving. Let's do this. That's more like it.
complete on me.
I'm ready and waiting.
I've no time for games.
I'm your one.
Say the word. What's happening?
Our forces are under attack.
Let's get moving.
Research complete.
I'm ready and waiting.
All right, they keep throwing attacks.
Hammer time.
It's hammer time. You can count on me.
What's
Ready for
happening?
action. Orders.
Oh,
Salutation.
You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
I come to
What do you
cleanse
need?
this land.
Right.
I'm ready.
all right. That's not a particularly important item, but the pendant
ready and
of energy is.
Is my aid
Ready for
required?
action.
Yes, me lord.
I'm your dwarf.
What's happening?
All right, so I've dealt with the
Let's get
initial
it on.
attack waves.
Research complete.
Forward. All right.
Let's get moving. Let's do this. It's hammer time.
Now let's try and deal with the
Let's do
undead
this.
commander. He might be over here, actually.
That's more
Somewhere.
like it. Let's get it on. You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you? Let's get it on. That's more like it. It's hammer time. Let's do this. For the bronze
Oh, damn it, the
beards.
Legion is coming.
You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
Our
Job's done.
forces are under attack.
Orders.
What ails
What's
you?
happening? It's hammer time. Let's get moving.
Ready for action.
I'm ready and waiting. What's happening?
Our Research forces are complete. under attack.
Let's get moving. You're kind of slow for a human, aren't you?
I await your command. What do you need?
I'm ready and waiting. Let's do this. That's more like it. Let's get it on.
All right, so that's their
Let's do
base.
this.
Yes, my liege. Command me.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? That's more like it.
9 minutes.
Let's get it on. It's hammer time.
Could I win before it?
Let's get it
Possibly.
on. That's more like it. Let's do this. You have a target?
Say the word. Orders?
Locked and loaded. I'm Let's your get moving. shooter. It's hammer time.
All right, let's
Let's get it
try
on. That's more like it.
and see what we can
It's
do in the
hammer
undead
time.
base. Hold on.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Aye, sir.
Locked and loaded. What's happening? It's
Research
hammer
complete.
time. Let's get it on.
It's hammer time.
I'm ready and waiting. That's more like it. Let's get moving.
Wheels are not easy prey.
Locked and loaded.
What do you need? Research complete.
That's more like it. I'm ready and waiting. I'm ready and
Aye,
waiting.
sir.
Let's get it on. What's happening?
Our forces are under attack.
Let's do this.
You dare threaten
Let's
me?
get moving.
Say the word.
Let's see what we got
Call
here.
moving. I'm ready
Yes,
and
my
waiting.
liege. On my
You're
way.
kinda slow for a human, aren't you?
Orders? Right. Our forces
course.
are under attack.
What's happening? It's hammer time. Let's get it on. Ready and waiting.
I have a land to defend.
What's happening? It's hammer time.
I have a land to defend.
Yes, my liege.
Let's get moving. Let's get moving.
Wheels are not easy prey.
What's happening? Let's do this. Here's my aid. You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? That'll work. What's happening? Let's get moving.
I concur. We are of the same.
That's more like it.
All right, let's
get it
fall
on.
back a
Say
bit.
the word. Absolutely.
What's happening? Let's get moving.
Yes,
You're
my
kinda
friend.
slow for a human, aren't you?
Because we,
Let's do this.
we're in a bit over our head
On my
I'm
way.
ready and
over
waiting.
there.
Orders? You can
Aye,
count
sir.
on me.
It's hammer time.
I've no
Kinda slow for a human. That's more like it.
I come to play this land.
Let's get moving. It's hammer time. That's more
Is
like
someone
it. What's happening?
I await your command.
Wheels are not easy prey.
Alright, gonna clear out there.
I come
Sire?
to cleanse this
What's
land.
happening? Let's do this.
And then move back
What
to
ails
attack
Kinda slow for a human, aren't
the
you?
undead camp.
Let's get it on. That's more like it. Let's get it on.
Orders? Aye, my lord.
And I'm going to take everything that
What
I
ails
have.
you?
I leave myself vulnerable, but I can always teleport and defend if need be.
Let's do this.
Is my aid required?
Ready and waiting. It's hammer time. Let's get moving.
Under attack.
What's happening?
What do we have here?
What's happening? That's more like it.
This is our
You dare
opportunity.
threaten
Aye,
me?
sir.
I'm ready and waiting. Let's get it on.
Salutation.
This is our
I'll do
opportunity.
Let's
it.
get moving. You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? Let's do this. It's hammer time. What's happening? Let's do this.
Okay,
That's more like it.
Yes, my liege.
let's go.
Is someone injured?
Let's get moving. Let's get it on.
What do you need? Our forces are under attack. Your honor. For the king. Say the word.
You're kinda slow
You
for a
need.
human, aren't you?
I just want.
There he is.
Our forces are under attack.
I've no time for games.
You can count on me.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? That's more like it.
I'm your god.
Let's get moving.
I've no time for games.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you?
We elves are not to prey.
I'm ready and waiting.
Whoa, shit.
Let's do this. It's hammer time. You're kinda slow for a
That
human.
is,
That's more like it. Let's get it on. It's
that was
hammer
bad.
time. That's more like it.
Your honor. Command me.
He's got a lot of power behind him.
Our forces are under attack.
What's happening? Let's get moving. I'm ready and waiting. Let's get moving. Let's do this. Let's get it on.
Our hero
It's
has
hammer
fallen.
time. Let's get it on.
Well, rough. Do I not have an... There we go.
Our forces
You're
are under
kinda slow
attack.
for a human, aren't you?
Yes, my lord.
I'm ready and waiting. Let's do this.
More gold is required.
What?
It's hammer
Off
time.
I go then.
Locked and loaded. What's happening? That's more like it.
I come
Yeah,
to
that was a
cleanse
bit
this
of a
land.
mistake.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you?
I'll do what I like.
I'm ready and waiting. Let's get it on. Let's get
Is
moving.
my aid required?
It's locked and loaded, sir.
I have a land to defend.
What's happening?
You can count on
What's
me.
happening? That's more like it.
More work, righto. Yes, me lord.
Let's get moving. You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? I'm ready and waiting. Let's do this.
I've no time for games.
What's happening? get moving.
Okay, reinforcements are
Hammer
arriving.
time.
Yes, my friend.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? Locked and loaded. I'm ready and waiting.
Aye, sir.
You have a target? Let's get moving. Your shooter. You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you?
It's
That's
hammer
more
time.
like it. I'm
Your
ready and
personal
waiting.
Guardian angel. I'm ready.
What's happening? Let's do this. I'm ready and waiting. It's hammer time.
I await your command.
Dare threaten me?
Let's get moving. Let's get it on. You're kinda slow for a human,
I
aren't you?
come to cleanse this
Let's
land.
do this.
Sire,
I'm ready and waiting.
I'll do what it takes.
Let's get moving.
You can count on me.
What's happening?
Aye, sir.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? That's more like it. That's more like
It's
it.
hammer time. I'll do what it takes.
What's happening? Let's do this.
We elves are not easy prey. We elves are
You're
not
kinda
easy
slow for a
prey.
your
human, aren't you?
You dare threaten me?
I'm ready and waiting. It's hammer time.
I have a land to
What
defend.
ails you?
I've no time for
Aye,
games.
sir. Let's get moving.
Yes, my lord.
This is our opportunity.
What do you need?
We elves are not easy prey.
Let's get it on. I'm ready and waiting. That's more like it.
Sire,
What's happening?
I've no time for games. You dare I've no time for games. You dare threaten me?
We are of the same mind.
We elves are not easy
Go. I
prey.
concur. We are of the same mind.
I have a land to defend.
Is someone injured?
What do you need?
Is my aid required? Yes, my friend. Of course.
I have a
What
land to
ails you?
defend.
I am your
You
servant.
dare threaten me?
Is
I've
someone
no
injured?
time for games.
Yes, my friend.
Your honor.
We
are
elves
of
are
the
not
same
easy
mind.
prey.
Go.
You can count on me.
I have a land to defend.
I concur.
Ah,
We elves are not easy prey.
I'll do
I
what
have
it
no
takes.
time for games.
I'm your dwarf.
You dare threaten me?
Command me.
We elves are not easy prey.
I await your
I have a
command.
land to
We
defend.
are of the same
What
mind.
You
ails
dare
you?
threaten me?
Go. What do we have here?
I've no time for games.
Our forces are under
I have
attack.
a land to defend.
It's hammer
We
time.
elves are not easy prey.
We are of the same mind.
You dare
You
threaten
can
me?
count on me.
We are of the same mind.
Aye, sir. Locked and loaded.
Same mind.
I've no time for games.
Research complete.
You dare
Locked and loaded.
I'm your dwarf.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you?
Yes, my lord. Command me. Aye, sir.
We elves are not easy prey.
I'm ready.
Sire?
I'm your shooter.
More gold is required.
I have a land to defend. I've no time for
We are of the
games.
same mind. I concur. Go. We are of the same mind.
Wheels are not easy prey. I've no time for games.
What's happening?
I await your
What's
command.
happening?
What do we have here? We are of the same mind.
Let's get
This is
moving.
Our opportunity.
More gold is required.
I'm ready. I concur.
I'm ready and waiting. You're kinda slow for a human, aren't
Is
you?
my aid required?
I'm ready and waiting.
Ah, kill Archimond. It's gonna be easy. When he can summon
someone
infernals,
injured?
demons. And somehow a significant portion of my supply is taken out.
You're kinda slow for a human, aren't you? It's hammer time.
I await your command.
It's hammer time. Let's get moving. For Cosmodan. Let's get it on.
Our
Is my
forces
aid
are under
required?
attack.
What do we have here?
What's happening? Let's do this.
I'm ready.
Let's get moving. You're kinda slow for a human. Count on me. What's happening? I'm ready and waiting.
Yes, my friend.
What's happening?
Your forces are under attack.
That's more like it.
Well, that's that. Sacrificed a lot for it. The orcs are approaching. There are raiders everywhere. What are we supposed to do? Who's in charge? Lady Pharaohs. Tell me what I should do. My lord, we are under specific instructions that only demons can be in positions of command. You are the ranking commander here. To hell with that. You command the undead army less than a fortnight ago. I'm putting you in charge, Lady Pharaohs. Warriors of Scourge, this battle is lost. We must retreat or be surrounded by the enemy. Retreat! So I do all the hard work, huh? The undead are retreating. It looks as if we have won the day. I never thought I would live to see the day that an orc saved my skin. I'm not sure that I like the feeling. I agree, some of my knights rode with Lord Pickets at Cobden's Ridge. But I will give them the benefit of the doubt. If Lord Duncan says that they can be trusted, that's good enough for me. Gentlemen, gentle dwarf, ladies, I present to you Malachi, war chief of the Horde. I am Malcolm Stonehammer, and I suppose that I'm in command of this rabble. I thank you for your aid, orc. I do not expect you to trust me, dwarf. The history between our races is long and bloody. All I need from you is your aid in but one battle against our common enemy. Can you give that? I'll do my duty for my people, if that is what you're asking. I don't have to like it. I will fight the demons, but not for your sake. That is all I ask of you. One battle to save Lordaeron. I'll meet you in the field. Farewell. I'm going with him. I have to trust the light and set aside my misgivings for the greater good. Goodbye. I feel dirty just being near that orc. He more than any other is responsible for the deaths of many of my people. How can Lord Duncan live with himself? I agree, if Mathias were here, he'd tell those orcs where to go. He was the best of us, that boy. The very best of us. We need that sort of leader now more than ever. Well, I actually expected reinforcements to arrive when the timer expired, but apparently I was wrong. Anyway, Costini here signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, enable notifications, and stay tuned for more.